National Short Range Forecast. Heavy snow over the northeast. Light freezing rain over parts of the mid-Atlantic. Low pressure just south of New England will move eastward over the Atlantic Ocean on Monday. The storm will produce heavy snow over the northeastern patches of rain, freezing rain over parts of the mid-Atlantic. Snow will also develop along the Appalachians on Monday. Rain will develop along the southeast coast as the front moves offshore. In addition, light rain will linger over Florida through Monday afternoon. Furthermore, light snow will continue over the northeast on Tuesday. Moreover, lake effect snow will develop downwind from the Great Lakes on Monday. A front over west-central Canada on Monday will move southeastward to the Great Lakes by Tuesday. The system will produce lake-enhanced snow over the region from Monday evening into Tuesday. In the meantime, high pressure over the Central Plains will create upslope snow over parts of the central, southern high plains through early Monday. Moreover, weak onshore flow will develop light rain over parts of the northwest coast overnight Monday that will become heavier late Tuesday as the next front comes onshore. Heavy snow and icing discussion. New England, Day 1. The major winter storm that swept over the nation the last few days will continue to gradually exit the northeast today, with lingering additional snowfall across parts of New England. By the start of the forecast period, 12Z morn, the primary surface low will be sliding east into the open Atlantic and only provide for some favorable ocean-enhanced snow from the south coast of Maine to eastern Massachusetts. Otherwise, mostly light to moderate snow will be associated with a weakening 850 millibars low tracking across northern New England. Additional snowfall amounts through tonight are expected to range from 3 to 5 inches, with the highest probabilities 50 to 80% for greater than 4 inches extending from the northern coast of Massachusetts to eastern Maine. Storm total snowfall amounts from Sunday through the D1 period are expected to exceed 20 inches across parts of New England. Great Lakes. Days 1 to 3. Broad cyclonic flow will persist across the east, and multiple embedded shortwaves will ride through this trough out of Canada, each one acting to reinforce cold air advection, across the Great Lakes to support rounds of lake effect snow. While GLERL indicates that water temperatures are cooling, Lake Erie is entirely ice-covered, and with the very cold temperatures this week continuing, additional ice cover is expected. However, there should still be sufficient instability and moisture to support lake effect snow each day through the forecast period. Lake effect snow is not expected to be extremely intense, although will be efficient downstream of Lake Ontario towards the Tug Hill Plateau at times, and it is this area that is expected to receive the heaviest lake effect snow. The Weather Prediction Center probabilities for all 3 days indicate a high chance, greater than 80%, for at least 12 inches east of Lake Ontario, with lower probabilities for 8+ inches, 30 to 60% chance, east of Lake Michigan and across the eastern Upper Peninsula on the south shore of Lake Superior. Excessive rainfall discussion. Day 1. The probability of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance is less than 5%. Day 2. The probability of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance is less than 5%. Day 3. There is a marginal risk of excessive rainfall across western Washington state. Models are generally consistent in a substantial increase in southwesterly low-level flow across western Washington state during the D3 WED forecast period as a broad upper trough becomes established over the northeastern Pacific. 35 to 50 knots 850 millibars flow will become oriented favorably against local terrain for appreciable orographic ascent for occasional moderate to heavy rainfall. Areas of 2 to 5 inch rainfall totals are expected mainly across the Olympic Peninsula, highest in favorable terrain areas. These rainfall totals should be sufficient for at least isolated, minor flooding in typically favored areas. Extended forecast. Arctic surface high pressure settling and additional surges in the wake of the ongoing historic winter storm will maintain dangerously cold temperatures for the central and eastern United States this week. The air mass may be more prolonged in areas with widespread snow, ice coverage and enhanced radiational cooling. Amplified mean troughing aloft will bring rounds of weak to moderate clipper system snows from the north-central United States to the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley, northeast, but especially in the lee of the lakes. Upstream, an amplified upper ridge will linger near the west coast before energy works onshore later week, with rainfall also set to gradually work to the Pacific Northwest and vicinity, inland as the mean upper ridge position gradually shifts eastward. In this pattern there is lingering potential for downstream wintry precipitation into parts of Texas late week as upper trough translation leads into western Gulf frontal wave genesis. There is also more an eye on possibly impactful next weekend coastal storm development up the still cold eastern seaboard to monitor for inland wintry precipitation and winds, coastal wave, maritime aspects. The highly anomalous frigid temperatures will have some staying power across a broad swath of the central and eastern United States through the week, with areas from the northern mid-Atlantic to the northeast and Ohio Valley likely remaining below freezing for highs each day, with the potential for some daily record lows to be set. This will be a serious problem for any areas that have extended power outages from the ongoing major winter storm. Meanwhile, there remains a guidance signal for development of a moderate to heavy rainfall pattern with a protracted moist southerly fetch focus later this week into northwest Washington and especially favored southern-facing Olympic Range terrain. While the region has been dry, multi-inch daily totals may lead to some localized runoff issues. The Weather Prediction Center excessive rainfall outlook, excessive rain outlook. Marginal threat areas have been introduced from day 3, Thursday through day 5, Saturday after local weather forecast office collaboration. Snow levels will rise with the influx of warmer, moist air, with heavier snows possible for the higher elevations of the Cascades. Severe weather outlook day 1. Thunderstorms appear unlikely. Severe weather outlook day 2. Thunderstorms are unlikely Tuesday. Severe weather outlook day 3. Thunderstorms are not expected Wednesday. Fire weather outlook. No critical areas. Synopsis. Fire weather concerns will be very low today across the continental United States. Recent widespread winter precipitation and rainfall have improved fuels across much of the central, southern plains with fresh snowpack extending into the Mississippi and Missouri valleys. In addition, an Arctic air mass remains in place across much of the continental United States. Overall, the cold and wet conditions will negate fire spread potential across much of the U.S. Dry conditions will be possible across the Florida Panhandle as dry northwesterly flow increases behind the passing cold front. Relative humidity reductions around 30 to 35% may briefly overlap winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Cooler temperatures behind the front and some light preceding rainfall should limit broader fire weather concerns. Space weather update. Solar activity is expected to be low with a chance for M-class flares, R1, R2, minor, moderate, through the 28th of January. Atlantic tropical outlook. The Atlantic hurricane season is currently inactive. Routine issuance will resume on May 15th. Pacific tropical outlook. The Pacific hurricane season is currently inactive. Routine issuance will resume on May 15th. Warnings summary. There are currently 218 active life safety warnings across the continental United States. This day in weather history. In 1978, the Great Ohio Blizzard struck the Midwest. A massive low-pressure superbomb caused hurricane-force winds and buried parts of Ohio and Michigan under 2 to 3 feet of snow. National temperature extremes. The national high temperature in the last 24 hours was 89 in 7 miles south of Brighton, Florida and Delaware Soto City, Florida. The national low was -31 in Peter Sinks, Utah. Did you know? Fog is essentially a stratus cloud that has formed at ground level.